What is up, guys? For just $3,000, your footage could actually look good. Why did you come back here? I don't have anything left. Why did you come back here?
Loading. The Sony A6500 is what got me started in taking videography and photography seriously. But even when I bought it, I knew a lot of people talked down on it. So today, I'm going to cover why I think the Sony A6500 is still a great camera. Many people have covered the A6500 specs, so I'll be brief with one fact. The 24.2 megapixel sensor in this camera is the same sensor they've used since 2014's A6000, all the way up to 2021's ZV-E10. Right off the bat, this camera is small, easy to fit in a bigger pocket or bag, no problem. In turn, the lenses are also smaller, which not only lets you have an easier time carrying your gear around, but a minimalist setup makes this an easy pick up and go camera set, unless you start rigging it up.
More on this later.
This camera takes great images, especially when paired with good lenses. For example, the Sigma Prime series. These cameras are definitely marketed as casual photography or vloggy style cameras, but I found as I developed my skills behind the camera, you can get incredible photos and videos out of it. Easily great for short films or pro photo and video work. Especially if you're working more on the photo side of things, my cons and obstacles don't really apply. For photos, I definitely recommend this camera with little to no hesitation, considering the extra custom buttons, the bigger grip, especially when compared to other cameras in the same line. On the photo side, this body has done nothing but excel in my use. It wasn't until I started leaning heavily into video that I encountered any obstacles. The 4K video looks great, and I mean great. There's a reason this sensor has stuck around for so long. A lot of people will discount the 4K with rolling shutter and overheating complaints. As far as rolling shutter goes, even the new A7 IV has rolling shutter that I wouldn't say is much better. And with the A6500 at a fifth of the cost, I think that speaks for itself. Most hybrid cameras suffer rolling shutter at the expense of having a balance between megapixels for photo and readout speeds for video. The more data in the frame, the longer the readout takes. A necessary evil, if you will, for us hybrid shooters. Unless you're whipping your camera around on a 40mm or tighter lens constantly, you'll be okay, and most people watching won't notice, I promise. Even if you are whipping the camera around, if you use wider lenses, the effect is not nearly as noticeable. And this isn't even a concern if you're using a tripod or keeping the camera steady most of the time. Battery life. And I'll say this is mainly for shooting 4K. When shooting 1080p or just taking photos, it's decent. Not great, but decent. This wasn't even a concern of mine until I started getting more into video work and getting paid jobs, wanting that extra resolution and quality. That's not only when I started carrying around about 8 batteries for shoots, I also encountered overheating. Before I had found a solution, I had shot most of my outside projects in 1080p 60 FPS to prevent the overheating on a project, and to save battery. Which worked, but I knew I wanted to shoot 4K for my projects and carry way less batteries around. So, I did lots of research. And I found a solution no YouTube video or online source I've ever seen has covered. A fix for both battery life and overheating. A custom battery grip that allowed me to use completely different batteries entirely. Instead of the small FW50 batteries, I could use 2 Panasonic batteries with the capacity of over 6 FW50s. I took the chance to buy it and attach it to my camera cage, ready to give it a test run on my next project. I was able to record over 3 hours of 4K footage. No overheating, battery life to spare. I had overcome the cons that had begun to plague me, but at what cost? I did, however, find that this rigged out A6500, although a great rig for professional use, had become more cumbersome than my desired pick-up and go camera, and had become a job-only type camera. So I have bought another camera to be my everyday carry just this year. But the A6500 turned my passion into a career, into a form of expression and creation. I even shot half of my last video on it. And as for the other half, I believe that's for another transmission.